This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is Not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, Mom Sir. This is your Kuya Burn speaking, and I am with Wrestling with Entertainment. Thank you for listening.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the Pin Fallout Boy, Kuya Burn.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure as well.
The pleasure is all mine. Can you tell us where we're going to feel the Burn next event-wise?
All right. So, we have I'm from WrestleFest DXB, Dubai promotion, Dubai wrestling promotion, and we have shows, monthly shows in the UAE, and our next show will be on the 21st of September. So it's coming right up soon, really soon.
Okay. And where can we find you on social media and merchandise if you got it?
Oh, yes, you could follow me on Instagram. It's Kuya Burn. That's KUYABURN. And I have finally have my merch. Please grab my new shirts. It's a collaboration shirt with the Filipino clothing brand here in Dubai called Anyo. And it's me, my very, very, very first merch with my tour dates on the back, like a band shirt. And those are all my matches that I had last year. So when you see me on a show or you want to avail it internationally, just send me a DM and I'll be happy to send it across to your location.
And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. And just, that's actually a really cool idea. I've never kind of thought about that for wrestlers, to have all their matches on the back of their shirt.
Yeah. So it's actually because I'm a big concert fan, and and I've noticed all of the concerts that I've been through, always the tour dates are on. So like, okay, so as a wrestler, how come I've never seen anyone as well who has done that? So why not be the first one to do it, perhaps?
Absolutely, and I think you might actually be the first one to do it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Awesome. So yeah, imagine if it was actually the full-time wrestlers who have done it. So for sure, it's gonna be 100 of their matches behind the back. But it would be so cool to see it, right? It's like their cage match database for a whole year behind their shirt. It's so cool.
It's just a row of text, row after row after row. You need a second shot.
Yeah, but imagine the person behind would be it would be actually a good favor for if you're in queue or in line, a long queue, and then it would be in favor for the person behind you, like you've got so many matches, huh? Okay, all right.
Thank you for standing in front of me in this line.
Yeah, indeed.
Right, you mentioned it. You wrestle for WrestleFest DXB and Wrestling Me. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Yes. So Wrestling ME is the academy where we train pro wrestling, and they also hold academy shows. So most of the time, like at least once a month we do like academy shows, and that's where we hone our craft. It's like treat it like a developmental show.
Okay.
And then when everybody is evaluated, and everybody is like ready, it's like when trainees get trained, and then eventually when they're ready, they can go to the WrestleFest DXB show. And the WrestleFest DXB show is the one and only wrestling promotion here in Dubai, which has 1 to 2 shows a month. And I've already hosted plenty of international talents, most especially from the UK and the New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right. And the wrestling ME, it's actually Al Snow approved, right?
Oh well, there was a moment that wrestling Emmy. No, actually, let me just clarify that one. Al Snow Academy, I think ASW Al Snow Wrestling Academy with OVW had collaborated with the previous wrestling promotion here in Dubai called Dubai Pro Wrestling. Eventually, Dubai Pro Wrestling had been defunct already, and then a new wrestling academy has been created by our coach Samir Nasif, and uh, and this new academy, Wrestling ME. It's not yet related with us know yet, but we're interested into broadening our curriculum. So maybe perhaps we could have that conversation again. I hope.
I gotcha. Okay. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're originally from the Philippines, and
Yes, correct.
now you're currently living in Dubai.
Yes.
How did you go from the Philippines to Dubai? Was it for pro wrestling?
Oh, it was actually for monetary reasons.
Okay.
so, when I was in the Philippines, I was really struggling financially. So, my parents were working here already. So, they asked me if I want to earn more, then might as well go there. Go here. I mean, here in Dubai. So, I went here. To my surprise, there was a wrestling promotion here, wrestling academy and promotion. No, actually, just wrestling academy called Dubai Pro Wrestling, and then that's where I started training pro wrestling in 2018.
Okay, so you haven't you've only wrestled in Dubai.
Yes, only in Dubai for now. It's quite ironic, I think, because I think my first upcoming international booking will be in my home country in the Philippines. I'd be a foreigner in my own land.
Well, that's what I was actually going to mention. What would it mean to you to actually wrestle in the Philippines?
Oh, it would mean a lot. Like I've been really meaning to say this. I really love Filipino wrestling right now because of how it got developed from when I first saw it in 2013 or 2014. Really grassroots community. It had its ups and downs, and right now we have 2 promotions in the Philippines called Filipino Pro Wrestling (FPW) and Puso Wrestling, and I'd be so honored to be booked in any of them. I've actually been in contact with Puso Wrestling lately.
Okay. And just culture wise, what is it? What was it a culture shock moving from Philippines to Dubai?
It was a culture shock because I didn't expect to be working with plenty of nationals here in the UAE. At first, I thought the UAE, the country itself as a whole, was just filled of Arabs and Northern Africans, but I didn't expect to see plenty of Westerners around, British people, American people, even Brazilians, even Latinos are here. So it's like literally United States, or should we call it, but in the Middle East, that kind of way. So it was really shocking because you see plenty of cultures around. So there are some gestures that are unacceptable for this certain culture, and there are certain gestures that are actually are mostly appreciated in this culture, but is but is disregarded and disliked in our cultures or something like that.
Right.
So it was a really good experience, and I'm 10 years in this country already, and I really love it in here.
And that does beg the question: what are you eating in Dubai?
Sorry, what was the
What are
question?
you eating in Dubai?
It's a mix. So lately I've been introduced to Pakistani cuisine. So we have we have an old restaurant here called Ravi, and they've got so delicious meals right there. And also I've been introduced to Indian cuisine because I've got plenty of Indian colleagues, and wow, they're how can I say it, butter chicken, totally the best. And and there's also mix of Japanese cuisine and also Brazilian cuisine, which is peri peri chicken, which I really love. Me and my wife have those on one of our date nights. But mostly, I think my favorite cuisine right now would be German, and because my wife and I really love going to Germany, and that reminds us of our travels there. So whenever we hit it, we go to German restaurant here in Dubai, and we just ate the infamous, very famous actually, Schweinhaxte, which is a pork knuckle, and then served with a 1 liter of mug of beer.
You're making me hungry here, honestly. I mean, I might have to take a trip to Dubai just for the food.
Oh, you've got plenty of foods here. They even mentioned in the news lately that it would take you around 12 years to, oh no, not 12 years, exaggerated, around 3 years
I'm willing to
to
do
eat
12 years if that's what it takes.
to eat in every single restaurant here in the UAE. That's how big it is, and it's multinational cuisine as well. So we've got plenty of options.
Alright. Now, you've actually wrestled Spike Trivet. International
Yes.
name, big name, respected name. What was that experience like?
At first, when they, it was actually a surprise because he was about to face our former champion, MK. But then, for some unfortunate event, MK pulled out, and it was actually champion at that time. I think it was a champion versus champion match. But for some very serious issue, I think family matters, he got pulled out, and and then but then the cards were stacked already, and they cannot find any replacement because they don't want to disrupt the current storylines. And then they came a point that they wanted to put a wrestler in there that was so over with the crowd, and who's got the work ethic put on, and who's got the good coordination skills. So I was actually surprised that they chose me. And I was like, really, Spike, right now? And I'm like, so stars are up. Oh my god! And but with the moment when I saw Spike, like, oh my gosh, so freaking intimidating. Like he's like a literal vulture who's
Yeah.
gonna eat my belly out of me, which almost happened in the in the match. It was I think it was a 12-minute match, one of my longest in my career as well. But man, the crowd was so in it. The crowd really hated him. The crowd, it's because maybe it's my persona that people really love. I'm this jolly, jolly, jolly guy, and we have a Filipino restaurant here called the Jollibee, which has fried chickens, and I give fried chicken to everyone as my entrance. And I had one fried chicken, and then I gave it to Spike, and then Spike, being such a hateable guy, he just hates the chicken and then slapped away from my hand, and then that's like nuclear heat already. Ooh, boo! You're wasting food. And it was such a fun match. Was a scary one as well because I don't know. He was really vicious. I watched his matches before in progress, and overall was like one of my actually right now my best match so far in my career, and that's what pushing me to improve further, to to get on par, at least reach them on that kind of performance. It was really a great experience.
And obviously, it is a big name, so it is a moment, I would say. So is that a moment you take in the moment, or is that something that kind of sets in like afterwards, like wow, I did this?
It, both. When I was there in the moment, it felt like I was in a cinema where at the same time I was also the conductor of an orchestra, and then at the same time I was the musician following the conductor. It was and I was also an audience because I'm seeing him face to face and experiencing it firsthand. Um, the vicious strikes, the vicious holds. It was the vicious slams as well. It's like I think the finish was a pile driver. He tombstone pile driver me, and then it was so freaking cool, and I love every bit of it. And up until now, thank you for reminding me of it. It just it was just a high. It was so unbelievable that I have got that experience, and for the people as well. I think it resonated with their minds as well. And speaking of, one of my biggest critics in life is my wife, and for her, in all the matches that I've been with, the best match I had, according to her, was still with Spike.
Okay. So, your wife not necessarily a fan of pro wrestling?
Well, kind of. She's a big Rhea Ripley fan ever since she saw she saw Rhea in the what's that, the Mae Young Classic, the first one. She
Oh
was
wow.
still blonde at that time,
Yeah.
long hair. She really is a big Rhea fan, and she actually loves Japanese pro wrestling though, and but the way she critiques me is that um she wants me to be more like me, and whenever she sees that I am not me or trying to be another person, that's where she hates it. And I'm like, okay. But I think it's a good thing because that's what wrestlers become the best, is because when the wrestlers really personify and 100% believe in who they are and then portray who actually they are, and that's where the best thing happens. So yeah.
Right. And now, like you mentioned, Dubai only has one wrestling company right now.
Yes.
How does the fans respond, or is it more of a WWE entertainment based? Or are they still maybe skeptical to the sport, or are they more into the sport of pro wrestling like Japan?
I think, well, based on experience, I think they're more into WWE style. We tried, so I've had a championship match before, and we had like an NJPW style kind of match where lots of strikes, lots of strikes as in,
Strong
and
style.
for arms, and but the thing is, the people doesn't quite resonate on that. People here in Dubai loves storytelling, pageantry, and getting involved. The getting over, the matches that always gets over are the ones that gets the people, that has good story, like, and then gets them involved. Like whenever there are outside spots and then they are quite involved, that's where they get so excited because they feel like they're part of the actual match itself. There was one time with Trent Seven versus our local competitor Fayez. Trent Seven, the story of the match is about chops, because the gimmick of this wrestler Fayez is a chop.
Okay.
So the people doesn't quite resonate with forearms. They're like, oh. But when the chop starts coming, it's like people, whoa, because it was built up so high, and then eventually the people started chopping the heel, and then we're like louder, gets louder, 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 and then so it's more like that. It's just entertainment, I think, for them.
Okay. So
Audience.
they get it. They like pro wrestling.
They like pro wrestling. People who come.
Okay. Now, there was actually a show between WrestleFest and Progress, one of the bigger independents in England. You
Yes.
were part of that. What was that like?
So I was part of the pre-show just to rile up the people. It was a 3-minute match, I think. And wow, the locker room was so starstruck. I was so starstruck with everyone. You got Axel Tischer there. You got Big Demo there. Like, wow, that's half of Sanity already. And then you have Spike in there. You've got Lizzie in there. You got Kanji Doku in there, like, oh my gosh. And then you got Sunset Machine in there, like, oh my gosh, everything's in here. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Okay. The worker in me just clicked in. For me to not get starstruck is for me to be busy. So I was helping each other out. I was checking in with everybody if they were okay. I was handing waters. If there were no supplies, I would run out of the venue, get some supplies, waters, drinks, towels, etc. Making sure that everybody in the locker room are okay, and that's just about it. And then eventually the event just got finished, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so awesome. These people are so awesome. They're really professional, and they're really very humble. Like, so freaking cool to be with them. And I'm like, if it's gonna be like this in most professional wrestling circuits, I want to be in one of these. But first, I gotta get my training A game on, get booked.
Well, hey, you already got your first international booking. We're going to be seeing you in the Philippines sooner rather than later.
Yes, so freaking excited about that. They're just waiting for me. It's just that there are some difficulties with with the process here. Fun fact is it's easier for a Filipino to get a Schengen visa than to get back home. Because you need to verify your employment contract, wait in a long line, and then wait for a bit, pay for a dime, and then accept or reject. If they're gonna accept, then you can go home. Because if you don't do this process, you just go home straightforward. You don't have this document called I think the Overseas Employment Contract, OEC. If you don't have it, you go home. When you get back, you get held at the immigration of the Philippines. I'm like, hey, I work in Dubai. I live and work in Dubai, but you don't let me go. Like, you don't have this document called the OEC, so we can't let you go. And then I'm stuck in the country. Then I'm not gonna be able to work. Then I'm not gonna be able to earn. Then I'm gonna be stuck there forever. That's the greatest fear that I have right now. That's why I can't get to Dubai back to the Philippines at the moment. But I'm gonna do my best to get that freaking document so I can go home and wrestle.
That's crazy. You're literally from there. They should allow you back into the country, but
Right.
you know,
It's so easy.
rules.
It's much easier to go to Germany than to go back home.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you compete, you wrestle in matches, and when you're done with the matches, you're actually the referee for later matches in the show, correct?
Yes, yes. I'm a self-proclaimed Swiss Army knife. Okay, so I always come to the venue the earliest. Same with our ring general. I mean, the ring manager, the one who owns the ring, our Coach Sam, and he does the ring setup. I do the audio video production. So I'm doing the gorilla. I'm assembling the gorilla cam. I'm assembling the audio video. I'm assembling the sound system. I'm assembling the OBS, meaning the graphics for the Titantrons. I'm coordinating what's gonna be the match list with the booker, and then I got a match. And then when they need someone like a referee that's so intense, they put me in. So during moments where there are NJPW matches, they want like a proper enforcer to do so, and that's where I jump in and become a referee, because we're still, although we're actually training audio video people now from our trainees who are also wrestling trainees, and we're training them do non-wrestling production stuff, and also training them to become a referee, so that we cultivate these talents as well, not just with me, and then we could share among the people the best practices that we know so far. So yeah, there you go. That's me, production, wrestler, and referee.
I mean, you truly are the Swiss Army knife, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah, but right now I'm so proud. I'm so proud that our trainees have stepped up, and I can actually step back from being a ref, because we've got really great referees right now. Like right now, we're training our very first female referee here in the Middle East region. Her name is Dorian. I'm so excited to see her in a Wrestling DXB show, and she's so intense as well. It's like, oh my gosh, really authoritarian figure. I'm so excited. She's also working on production stuff along with other wrestlers. We've got wrestling trainees. We've got Vedant, who's our official referee right now. Like he's every step in the way he gets improvement, and he actually goes abroad to do wrestling seminars. I think he's more knowledgeable than me right now, and we're doing internal seminars with our trainees as well for non-wrestling related matters with production and being a referee. So the community is building. So it's not just Kuya's not gonna be the Swiss Army knife anymore, but he's cultivating talent so that this industry would flourish and be sustainable. And I'm really proud of that. So happy for everyone.
Right, because Kuya has to sit in line to get visa and paperwork done, so he can leave the country.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yes. So let them do the work, so I can do my documents already, and I can wrestle internationally in my own country.
But being a referee, obviously, as you know, being the third man in the ring, it's an important role. Was there any audibles that you had to call as a referee on the fly?
Yeah, plenty of on the fly moments whenever there are NJPW matches, because and no, not just MJPW matches, all international matches go on the fly. Like for example, there are moments where the spots get forgotten between two wrestlers. Our main wrestler and then an international wrestler would then tell me to bridge in the communication, and I was like, a really advanced refereeing stuff. Plus, have to check them if they're okay. So speaking of international talents, they're so well versed that they are like conductors on a musical orchestra, and even the referees become the instrument to express that part of the show. And the best on the fly moment I had was I was never told what the finish was because I keep on telling them. They're not telling me because they want me to just count 1, 2, 3, and that's what I did. So, but I think there was this moment that I didn't know it was the finish, but it looked intense. But then the emotions were so high, people were so high, and I think the energy of the competitor is so low who got pinned. And when I counted 1, 2, 3, I didn't know it was the finish, but when I counted the 3, it felt like just a finish. And I'm like, oh my God. So this is what an actual match feels like. You don't know when it's gonna end. It ended, and it ended with the high. And I think that was a match between Shaheen, our best wrestler here in the region, and Mansoor. And that was so damn cool, so amazing.
I imagine that was a learning experience as well.
Yes, it was like super. Yeah. Speaking of, I gotta note that down because I should tell that to my to my coach trainees on our next seminar and workshop.
All right. Well, you mentioned it earlier, and it is a part of your gimmick. So, can you tell us about your love of Jollibee?
I think it's most Filipinos' beloved food chain. Maybe because it's as a child, whenever there are celebrations like graduation, birthday parties, our parents would just take us to Jollibee, and they're, kids being kids, we love fried chicken, and we didn't have Popeyes in the Philippines. So Jollibee is your go-to place if you want to celebrate. So maybe that's the reason why I love Jollibee, is because, especially with the chicken called Chicken Joy, there's a memory in me that whenever I eat this food, I'm enjoying it. It's a celebration. It's my go-to food when I'm sad. It's I think it's most Filipinos' go-to food if they want a nostalgia factor out of it, and they had this inner child in them being happy, and I think that's just resonated. And then I'm like, okay, there's no Filipino wrestler that I've ever shown this kind of gimmick before. So I'm like, why not be the best? Why not be the first one? And then when I did it, like, oh my God, so freaking over. And it was whenever I handed over the chicken, these people that I've handed over the chicken, they're like, I'm never go against you. Go Kuya, like 101% pro Kuya. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this. And that was it. And then you'd also see in my shirt, my merch. It's me holding I think I'm holding a bucket of Chicken Joy there, and then it's raining comets, but instead of actual meteors, it's chickens, fried chickens. So that's the love of Chicken Joy.
And I mean, yeah, you're immediately a babyface because you're giving the crowd chicken, and when the heel doesn't accept the chicken, that they're more over as a heel.
Yes, 100%. I think my best part of just wanted to share. The best Chicken Joy spot I had was when I was fighting with Nova Nox. I was on an ankle lock, working on my leg. I am about to tap out. Oh my gosh, my ankle can't take it anymore because I just got an ankle sprained ankle rehab. I was about to tap out, but then I saw my bucket of Chicken Joy at the corner. I was scrolling. And then when I grabbed that Chicken Joy already, and then I took a bite out of it, and then people were like, oh no, Kuya's back. So it's It's like when Popeye eats his spinach. That's what happened to me. And then I'm like, boom, full force again. Bam, bam, bam. Really fun match, though.
And you did mention Popeyes. You have had Popeyes and KFC?
Yes, we had Popeyes and KFC. We had KFC in the Philippines. Best part, I didn't have the nostalgia factor of KFC. First time I ate it was I was in during my college days, and doesn't have much.
I gotcha.
I think the nostalgia factor in there is just the gravy, because in the Philippines we've got like faucets of gravy. You pour it into your rice because Filipinos love eating rice, everything with rice, and then that's how we enjoy. But with Chicken Joy in Jollibee, you just eat the chicken and then you're fully full. And then with Popeyes, the only Popeyes I've ate was when I got here in the UAE. When I got here in 2014, there isn't any Jollibee yet, so my alternative was I want something close to Jollibee, and then I discovered Popeyes and it was so crunchy, and then I loved it. But then when Jollibee was finally open here, well, back to Jollibee it is then.
Now you got me wondering because I've there's actually a Jollibee somewhere around me, so I might have to actually go check that out because I've never had it.
Oh, cool. Okay, let me know when. Send me a message and then tell me how does it taste like, and
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
I hope you enjoy it.
I'm wondering what's the difference between Jollibees in Dubai compared to California.
I think it's the quality of chicken. So if you're in California, I think you've got pastures there already. You've got green, like literally green pastures. So I think the chicken there would be better, I think. Because here we import our chicken. We import it from elsewhere, so it's frozen already. So I think there you get it fresh.
Quite possibly.
Right. So I'm excited for you. Actually, I'm actually looking forward to your review.
When the next time I cross a Jollibee, I'm gonna have to check it out for sure.
Get the Chicken Joy.
Yes.
Don't go with spaghetti because you're gonna be surprised. Because Filipino spaghettis are sweet instead of sour like the Italian ones. So if you're more of an Italian spaghetti eater, you'll definitely hate the Filipino spaghetti.
Interesting. All right.
Oh wow! Now I piqued your interest. Now you're curious.
You did.
Cool.
All right. I think that's a good segue into Kuya's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Give me an example of which road story do you mean? Because we don't travel that much. We only have one venue. Like at max,
it doesn't necessarily have to be a road story. Just something that was weird or crazy that happened pertaining to wrestling, or just in general.
I think the craziest that happened to me in wrestling was when I was refereeing. Oh, it's so scary. I think this was the biggest lesson I learned as a referee is you really have to check in with everyone. So there was this moment when I was refereeing this fatal four-way match, and it was, of course, no disqualification, so plenty of crazy spots. And then eventually, this wrestler, he seemed fine. After one, he took a stage dive from someone, and then he slammed his back on the concrete. But I didn't know and notice that his head also slammed with it.
Ooh.
I think and then when I was checking with everyone, everybody was okay. And when I checked him, he actually did the protocol. He squeezed me, so I assumed he was okay. But the funny thing is, he went up, went through the match, punching the air, and then when he did his spots, and then eventually, and then the match ended. But then after the match, we realized that he got a concussion.
Ooh.
And I'm like, how did that happen? Because he couldn't remember after the stage dive. He couldn't remember anything. And after that, I was so guilty. Like, how come I didn't check on him? How come I didn't notice it was a concussion already? Perhaps it was the lack of training from my end as well. What the concussion protocols were, but it was so damn scary that right now we are trained. I mean, all the referees are now being trained first aid, so that when things like this happen, we actually have to care. So it was an eye-opening thing. So to add on that, that was on a second party perspective, seeing a concussion. No, sorry, a third party perspective. Now, on a first party perspective, we had this open area event where I had a match with this Dutch wrestler that we have, Johnny Evers. I was a wrestler, and then we had a spot. He power bombed me. It was so big. He's just like a 6'3", 6'4" guy, and power bombed me. And I said I could take it. I could take it. And then after I took it, even though I've tucked my chin, I don't know, it just felt something weird. So after that, I was okay. Then I had another match at the main event. At the main event, it was a tag match. There was this moment when I got tagged, then it's like when I get tagged, it skipped already to the finish. Like, why am I outside? What happened? And I'm like, people, the wrestlers told me like, what are you doing, Kuya? You're in, you're in a you're in a shine spot, but you're already crawling for a tag, like it's a hot tag. Like, what? I didn't remember that happened. And then there was actually a footage that I still did the moves that I rehearsed, that we the spots that we talked about. I even did my finish on the shotgun sequences, but I can't remember anything. I'm so freaking scared what happened. So apparently I got into a first aid, and then they told me I got minor concussed because I couldn't remember anything. But I'm okay. I'm all right, I think. The thing is, I think the lesson there is, if I'm not sure what I'm taking, or if I haven't taken that in training or on a mat, then I shouldn't take it, because I shouldn't have taken that power bomb.
Right.
But it looked good on paper, though. So, but still, safety first.
But it's good that it's good that you're okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thankfully, yeah, I'm okay. So those are my two craziest stories as a ref and as a wrestler.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing those. Now, you're actually in a band, with your wife. Can you tell us about
Yes.
that?
Yes. So we are on a band called Espervine, and it was formerly a full band that consisted drums, bass, guitar, her on vocals and synthesizers. But then we've decided to make it as an electronic duo. And Espervine is like a marriage, like literally, pun intended, marriage between our music, because she's got the most electronic elements. Like, for example, her influences are from Phantogram, How to Destroy Angels, and Nine Inch Nails. And then you mix it with pop punk kid who listens to Fallout Boy, who listens to We the Kings and All Time Low, and then you mix it all together, you mesh it. Oh, also I love Linkin Park, so I think that's our middle ground of electronic and a bit of guitar elements, and then that's where our duo Espervin came in. And a fun fact here is that wrestling helped me write songs with Espervin, perhaps because of the storytelling. So whenever I write songs with my wife, we structure songs like I structure matches. So of course you got the shine hit, cut off, come back, finish. So most of our songs are like that. Ascending factor, then cuts you off, then you get this intense. Because in music you only got two things. You got the tension and the release. So if you incorporate the wrestling storytelling in that, you got a full release first to introduce your sound, then you carry it off with the tension, then you make the audience want to have that release eventually. But then we play with it. My wife really loves tension because she loves Nine Inch Nails. So, and then that's how our music is like right now. And speaking of music, Espervin is gonna have to release their album this year, our very first album. So I'm really excited about that. I should give you a copy.
Oh yeah.
When it get released.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of being in a band with your significant other?
The disadvantages. Well, I can't think of disadvantages right now because I think I'll focus on the advantages at the moment because there's plenty. Number one, it's a bonding time between me and my wife, which is I really love doing because at first I was a musician. I've been doing music since when I was 15 years old. She was also doing music since she was 14. And being together, doing the things that we love together, it's like, not sure if I'm allowed to say this, it's like having sex, but through music.
Okay.
So it feels so damn good to make music with her, especially when we perform it live. It feels like an actual marriage of our sounds and an actual expression of what we feel, and then it translates into this synthesis of really good sonic sound which resonates to the people, and then seeing the people enjoying it like, oh my god, so high. It's the best drug that I could get, seeing people high just by expressing through instruments. I think that's the greatest advantage of being a musician. Now, on the disadvantage, I think would be differences. Because since I've got pop punk influences and a bit of electronic influence from Linkin Park, and then she's got this full industrial music influences. Sometimes we don't jive a bit, but through communication, we synthesize our ideas together.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Espervin actually performed before one of your matches, no?
Yes, super. Yes, it was super. It was the very first WrestleFest DXB event, and so the booker was looking for talent, and I'm like, I capitalized it already. Like, oh my gosh, I wanna put in my bucket list. I wanna be the guy who plays first and then wrestles afterwards. And then when I did, it was a full band setup at that time. I was playing the bass, I was in my wrestling gear, and I was playing our original songs in Espervin, and it was so freaking high. It was so freaking awesome. And then, but the thing is, there's a disadvantage to that. The disadvantage is that I was so tired performing already. The moment I stepped into the ring, I was gasping out of breath. Like, that was just a warm up. It felt like it felt like a full match because I performed as a musician. Because when I perform, I just don't stand. I actually just move around. It's a performance, and I have to wrestle afterwards. And then here's the funny thing: after I wrestled, I had to ref after I wrestled. And after that, I also had to do production. It's like, oh my gosh, that was the most tiring experience. I'm never gonna do it again. Crossed off the bucket list. Good for the books. That's all. Done and dusted. Never going back.
Well, at least we know why you haven't done it again.
So,
Question,
yeah,
Mr.
I don't
Michelle.
want to do it again. It's so tiring. Just that.
Alright. Now you've actually a part of and you've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you were part of a lot of tournaments as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us
Thank
about
you
that
for checking on
process?
that. Thank you and checking on that. I've got so I've when I was what age was that? Can't remember my age. I'll just go with the year. That was 2017 when I started training jiu-jitsu just for the fun of it, because I think it was fun because it didn't require much physique. The athleticism relies mostly on technique, and so I've been to two tournaments in jiu-jitsu here in the UAE. First was the Dubai International, the very first one. I was so freaking scared that even my pimple popped, and then people thought I was bleeding, like I cut myself, like in pro wrestling. The match in the middle of the match got stopped because they saw me bleeding, but that was just my pimple popped. But so the match I had was with a Jordanian guy. Weight division was 69 kg. Adults division, which is ranging from 21 years old. No, I think 18 years old to 29 years old. So I think it was the most competitive division. It's a tournament that has I think 32 competitors or 24 up until you get to the final. So the first round, I was against this Jordanian guy. I was so freaking scared. Very first fight of my life, because I've never been into high school fights. You go outside the backyard, then you square with someone. Never had that. So it's my very first actual fight in my life, and all I thought was just survive, just survive, just survive. And so the match ended. It felt so great. People were clapping for me, my people, my teammates. Like, still, you did a good job. You did a good job. And the referee, the jiu-jitsu referee, raised my opponent's hand, and yeah, he won. But I think I won because I survived. That's all I think of. And the final score is 0-11. I was 0. He was 11. But it was a fun experience. And then I was like, okay, I want to do it on an international level. Let's try it, because I tried it with the Dubai resident. So the last match I had in my jiu-jitsu career was it's called the Abu Dhabi I think Grand Jiu-Jitsu tournament. I forgot already. So I was with this Kazakhstani guy, and then he was so skinny. So I'm like, okay, I think we're on the same weight division. He looks younger. I'm on my late 20s. But then when we fought, I was, how do I say it? When you launder sheets, when you do the laundry,
Yes.
and then you fold you fold the sheets.
Yes.
I felt like that sheet. I felt like I was folded, and then in 1.5 minutes I tapped out because I felt like I was so freaking tired. He was so freaking fast, and he put me on an armbar, and I didn't upload that video because it was so freaking embarrassing. Like, I'm a chicken running for my life because I'm gonna be chopped by a chef. And that's it. I said, okay, I'm not gonna do jiu-jitsu again, because the intention is like you want to kill your opponent or break their arm. But I want to entertain. I just want to entertain. And then that's what pushed me to do wrestling training, because I discovered, oh, there's a wrestling there's a pro wrestling thingy here. Being a pro wrestling fan for like in my childhood years, I wanna try that. Just want to entertain, and that's where my wrestling journey started. Thank you for asking the jiu-jitsu question. I didn't know it's gonna lead us to the beginnings, the genesis of my pro wrestling journey.
So it's
Really?
kind of safe to say you're not going back to jiu-jitsu.
Nope. Well, I wish I could, but the timings is so intense that you need to train 4 times a week. Gotta do it religiously, otherwise you're not gonna get good. Once a week won't suffice in jiu-jitsu. Like you really have to be. The discipline is what they're cultivating in there, but I don't have that kind of time in my life anymore because
You have
so
to do
freaking
all
busy
of those
at work.
things for pro wrestling. The Swiss Army
Yes.
knife.
You got the pro wrestling stuff. Yeah, I mean, I got the pro wrestling stuff. I got the band stuff. I got work stuff, which consumes most of my time. Plus, I've got what else? Oh, I need to work out, of course. Gotta go to the gym and enhance my cardiovascular strength. And so, where can I put jiu-jitsu?
I got you.
Remove sleep, remove sleep, and then replace it with jiu-jitsu. So yeah, it's realistically not possible.
I think this is what you're replacing sleep with. Can you tell us about your love of Final Fantasy?
Oh, schmauzers! Yes, I've been a Final Fantasy fan since I was 8 years old. And speaking of eight, the best Final Fantasy of all time for me would be Final Fantasy 8. And it's because of the love of the GF function, the Guardian Forces. The animations were so damn cool. Seeing that in the 90s was so freaking amazing. And the music, I think the music really hit my heart so hard that if Final Fantasy would come, I mean the orchestra would come here, I would, and then watch it, I would literally cry the moment I would hear the Liberi Fatali intro song. So freaking good. And my second favorite Final Fantasy of all time would be 8 times 2, 16. Because of its edginess, its medieval factor, and it's like humongous levels of Final Fantasy. That's the biggest Final Fantasy you could ever see, play, even watch. Like how humongous you could see that you've had the character fighting in the galaxy, and that's so freaking intense. So yeah, 8 and 16 are my favorite Final Fantasies. Thank you for asking this. I love Final Fantasy.
That's interesting because usually people's go-to is 7.
7, yeah. Funny thing, I'm not a fan of 7.
Really?
Like I've never played Rebirth. What's that? Remake and Rebirth. I've never played it. I think I tried playing the demo of the remake, but my eyes get hurt. And then, yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't hate 7. I love the storytelling. I love the slapstick. I love the writing. I love the humor in it. It's more humorous than 8, but I think it's more on the nostalgia factor. I discovered 8 before 7, perhaps. Maybe if 7 came in before, if I've witnessed 7 first, then 8, then maybe 7 could have been my best Final Fantasy. But I think it's also 7. I think it's unpopular opinion. 7 is overrated. Sorry.
And Kuya turns heel.
Turns heel now. No, maybe that's gonna be my heel stick. Like Final Fantasy 7 is overrated. Boo! On a pop convention. Boo! That's a good one.
Alright, well that's a good segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Of course, Dead on Arrival by Fall Out Boy. That's my entrance song.
Of course.
Number 1. And then during my let's say intense emotional scenes, the drama scenes would be Numb, Linkin Park.
Okay.
That's my favorite song of all time. Numb, Linkin Park. And when you want to go with a very hope comebacky spot, I think it would be shucks. Well, it's on top of my head, and I want to say it right now, but I can't say it because it's not an actual music yet because we haven't released it yet. I want Hope to be Hope by Espervin. It's like a post rock song that
Okay.
we created, and it's I don't know. I really love writing that song, and it feels so freaking emotional. Like you want to bawl and cry out of joy or tears. It's like that. But okay, to be fair, since it's not existing, my third the third music doesn't count. So instead, it's so hard. I think the third song would be I don't know. Circle of Life by Hans Zimmer
There
from
you
The
go.
Lion King. The intro, Circle of Life. It was like when I watched Hans Zimmer live and then they did that first song, like oh my gosh, all the hairs on my body, the little hairs on my body like just rose out of goosebumps. Like it was so freaking cool.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the greatest Disney movie of all time. So.
Oh yes, high five! Strongly agree with you. Oh my gosh, that scar scene.
Yes.
Gosh, that scar scene. The my heart. I still remember when Simba was trying to push his father. Like as a child seeing like that, why am I exposed to death already? Oh my gosh, that's intense storytelling. Love it. Love Lion King. The animation one, not the
Fun-
new one.
Fun. Excuse me. Fun
That's
fact:
okay.
my co-host Kaliko, when the live action came out, because the song "Be Prepared" was not in the movie, he
Oh
was
no, really?
yeah, he was so pissed that he walked out of the movie, did not finish the movie.
Shoot, that's blasphemy. Oh my gosh,
He was
Scars
like-
like be prepared. Whoa, no.
Yeah, he was like, "That's bullshit. I don't like this movie. I'm walking out." and he walked out.
Wow. Glad that I never watched that movie. Glad that I saved my money.
You're not missing anything, honestly.
Oh, cool.
Just-
All right.
just
I
watch
think I'm
the
gonna watch
original.
19. Sorry, as you were saying.
Just watch the original. It's a lot better.
Oh yes, timeless. Like
Better
even,
memory.
I think in our age right now, if we still watch it, we'd still get that feeling of hating Scar, of I love that dynamic so freaking much. Like and then the storytelling of Simba being just a lax guy afterwards, the Hakuna Matata era, like I don't care about life anymore. It's like being an adult, right? And then eventually responsibility hits you, your destiny awaits you, and then you try to fulfill your destiny. Like, oh my gosh, so freaking epic, especially the finals. Oh, sorry, I'm geeking out with Lion King already. Best, one of the best movies of all time.
Agreed. We're
Yeah.
both kind of geeking out here.
Yeah.
But a solid 3 picks for your soundtrack. Everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays Kuya? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Ah, I love this question. I've never had this question before. Shucks, because I'm a frustrated actor. That's why I took one of the major reasons why I took wrestling is I want to become an actor, but I can't because I'm having troubles memorizing a script. So if someone was to play my role, roar, so freaking hard at this day and age. Ah, Crap, I don't know. I don't know. Shoot, I don't know.
Would you like to come back to the question? I give you some time.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to come back to the question, please.
Every movie has a supporting cast. Who
All
would
right.
be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie?
Of course, my wife, 100%.
Of course.
Then my coaches. Let's count them as one person, please. We got Coach Sam, who's the foundational coach, and then Coach Shaheen, who is the advanced coach, who really pushed me so hard to be where I am right now. And third person would be Spike Trivet. Right now, at this moment of my career, that's Spike Trivet. Someone bald and someone you hate. Like, if you make Edward Norton as Spike Trivet, like, that would be so freaking awesome. Like American X.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who plays your wife and your coaches as well?
I think my wife would be. Why am I thinking of Andrea de Armas? Yeah, because my wife gets almost mistaken as a Mexican, although Andrea de Armas is Chilean. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I really love her acting chops. She has this innocent face, but she can also have this serious "I'm gonna kill you" face. That's why I'm so excited with the ballerina. The spin-off sequel of spin-off story for John Wick, which Ana de Armas was gonna be partaking in. And my coaches would be shucks, can't think of any Arab-looking artists right now, but yeah, I think my wife would be Ana de Armas playing as my wife would be really good. I think it would be better if I would be playing as myself with Ana de Armas. That would be the best, though. Yeah. I'm sorry, I still can't think of anyone yet who I've seen because I haven't watched. Yeah, I think Paul Rudd as me.
Paul Rudd as you. Okay.
Yeah, never seen Paul Rudd as a wrestler, right? But you want to see someone so jolly, bubbly, and you've never seen Paul Rudd so chubby, like my face. So, what would a chubby Paul Rudd look like?
And
Who
Paul,
eats chicken joy?
and Paul Rudd is timeless. He's ageless as well.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound braggy, but I'm already 33 right now, and people mistake me in my early 20s.
That's
I don't know why.
pretty good. Good
So
genes.
I think Paul Rudd indeed then timeless.
This is sounding like a fantastic movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you could pre-order the tickets now.
Right now, yes. All right.
Alright, now on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I love Hawaiian pizza. Sorry. Pineapple on pizza. Yes. Let's go. Hawaiian pizza. Let's go. I think childhood. That's why I started eating pizza with pineapple in it.
Okay.
That's why I always thought there was pineapple in pizzas. So, good parenting, I hope, if you're a pro pineapple pizza.
Alright, so we are very pro pineapple on pizza.
Cool.
Which
How
is,
about you?
I have never partaken.
Okay.
My mom is actually allergic to pineapple, so pineapple in general is just something I didn't really have growing up. So, it's not necessarily something. If it's presented to me, I'll try it, but I'm not necessarily going to go out of my way to eat it or order it. You know what I mean?
It depends. Yeah. It totally really depends on what we ate during my childhood times
Right.
for this question. Cool.
Now, what's your spirit Pokemon?
Whoa! Spirit Pokemon! I want to say Dragonite. I don't know why. He's chubby, but he's so freaking strong.
Yes. Oh,
Dragonite. Pokemon number 149, I think. Is
damn,
Dragonite.
you know the number.
Yeah. Pokemon number 150 is Mewtwo.
Yes, 151 is.
Yeah!
I
Got it! Yes! Because Pokemon number 1 is Bulbasaur. I still remember at least the first batch. Because I had a poster of it during my childhood times.
That's awesome. Now, weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully.
Mhm.
Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Huh. Wrestling as like an actual rock?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I would treat it as not just a rock, but a precious rock. Like a diamond. Because it's priceless. No, actually it's high valued, but for me, it's more of a like when you give an engagement ring, the value of the rock doesn't matter. It's the intention.
Right.
So that gemstone, that rock in that engagement ring is wrestling. And that's how I would treat it. Wrestling as a rock. An engagement ring.
I've never thought of it that way.
That's how precious it is. Wrestling is so precious in my life. I think it's like my safe haven. And if I don't do wrestling training, I'm going to go crazy. Like, yeah, even my therapist told me, gotta do wrestling. Otherwise, you'd go freaking mad and haywire.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten
Whoa.
Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. That would be a better match than facing the Rock himself. You face the actual Rock.
100%?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That would be so taxing and so tiring because the Rock, the actual Rock, it's never gonna let you down, but it could crush you anytime, any minute. So how can you defeat that?
Well,
Maybe he defeated it with paper.
funny enough, he did actually get a pinfall with paper, so yeah. But he unfortunately did not win the match.
Oh, of course, because he didn't have the paper. Maybe he went with scissors.
It went 319 to 319, so they tied. And The Rock
Ooh.
was the world champion, so by default he retained because it was a tie.
That's anyway. At least he did his best. Just going on one match with the actual Rock would be an honor. It's also a glory, and it would have been a survival contest already. 319 times of it, times 2, because it's 319. Oh my gosh, that's a feat already. This guy should be in the world record, the Guinness World of Record.
Without a doubt. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I think I'll be having a child, cause I gotta tone down, man. Like in terms of being busy with music, but in 5 years from now, I've already accomplished having an international tour, both in wrestling and in music, having 2 albums, at least having a dream match on the 5th year or 4th year, and I'll be back at home in the Philippines doing professional wrestling training with the Filipinos there, and also non-wrestling training like what I'm doing right now, and cultivating the Filipino pro wrestling scene, while also doing music with my wife and my whole family. So that's it.
You mentioned dream match. Anybody in particular?
Yeah. So there are two dream matches that I have. One unrealistic, like literally dream match, and one like could possibly happen. Okay, let's make it three. One could possibly happen, then one that could that I really really want to happen, and it's really possible to do so. So let's start off with the middle ground, which is that could happen, but not right now. I think I want to go on with Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Reason being is I love Japanese pro wrestling. His core foundation is Japanese pro wrestling. We both kind of have the same gear, tank tops and tights. We both kind of do Japanese style, and he's over with the crowd, but we both suck in wrestling. Sorry, Eddie.
Wow, why a way to get a match with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, no. Just kidding. I love Eddie Kingston. That's why I wanted to have a match with him. I don't get why people hate him. I love his passion, man. Like, I love his really strong style match. I love the way he incorporates his Japanese wrestling influences. I do so, and even though with the bad cardio, he's still so intense. Like, oh my god, I love that guy. Like, so freaking love that guy. One of the reasons why I'm only watching AEW, and I only became a fan of Eddie Kingston watching him in NWA, Power, and like, oh my gosh, I hope he could still wrestle though, because he gets injured most of the times now, and he's in AEW. But Eddie Kingston is my go-to dream match. Like, that's my middle ground, kind of impossible, but maybe possible dream match.
Adding to that, you should definitely go back to his time in TNA as King. That was some great shit.
Oh gosh. Okay. Now I'm gonna go TNA plus. TNA plus. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you know what? For Eddie Kingston, it's worth the subscription because that was some good shit back then.
Oh, nice. Was he part of LAX?
Yes, it was the OG LAX versus the new
LAX,
LAX.
With Santana and Ortiz and Suicide and him.
Yes, it was.
Right?
It was Conan, Santana, and Ortiz versus Eddie Kingston, Hernandez, and Homicide.
Homicide, sorry, not Suicide.
Yeah.
Homicide, no time. Yeah. Yeah, wow, that's so classic. Like AJ style is kind of classic.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that suggestion. I think I might subscribe now just to study those.
Definitely. And your other two matches?
The other two matches, let's go with unrealistic one, AJ Styles. Who doesn't want to? Even though if it's a squash match, he kicks me, puts me on the Styles Clash, done 1, 2, 3, I'm fun. I could die in peace. Yeah, because AJ Styles is my top in my my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. He's there, and he's the reason why I watched wrestling. Well, besides Eddie Guerrero, of course. He's not talked about in our country that much because TNA is not that too famous. In my years before, I was the only one watching in TNA back in high school, and I've never seen a heavyweight who moves like Rey Mysterio. Shucks. So yeah, AJ Styles would be my unrealistic match because I think it's gonna go on a as what the ICW says is gonna go on a retirement tour match soon, and so that's the unrealistic one. And the realistic one is to have my dream match is with a Filipino wrestler. His name is Chris Panzer.
Yeah.
He's a former wrestler in what's that, PWR, and but the thing is he's not wrestling anymore. He's more of I think he's a businessman right now, and he's doing motorbiking all around the Philippines. But his matches were actually the matches that pushed me to pursue pro wrestling. He was my inspiration, and he is still. And I kept in touch with him for quite some time, and it really felt like a brotherhood, even though it was just a chat. So maybe if I see him in person, I would like I maybe tear up because I'm like it's like seeing AJ Styles, but in a more realistic brotherly perspective. Like I've seen a long lost brother. So yeah, Chris Panzer. I hope he wrestles back though.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler? I think we covered
Sorry,
this
can you-
already.
Sorry, what's the question again?
What is a match people should see that best shows you off as a pro wrestler?
Yeah, I was thinking. Obvious one would be Spike versus Spike Trivet. I
Is that
think
on
that's just
YouTube?
it. I have to check. I have to dig. Yeah. Although I'd be so blatant about it because I was really, really, really green at that time. But I think if I fight Spike Trivet again, it would be a better one. So I think that would be their introduction to Kuya Burn is to watch the Spike Trivet versus Kuya Burn at WrestleFest DXB Press Start 2023.
Alright, and if that match is indeed on YouTube, I will grab the match and I will put a link to it into the description of the video below, but on
Thank you
YouTube
very
and
much.
Castbox. For anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Thank you very much.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Okay.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Let me just get my seatbelt. Alright, seatbelt on. Let's get it on.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Eddie Guerrero.
Worst wrestler.
What's that stormtrooper guy again? Shock Trooper.
Shockmaster.
Shockmaster. Yeah, that.
I will accept that answer. You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
AJ Styles.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Edge.
Which one?
I understand, I see clearly. To life. That.
Metal Angus. Alright,
Metalingus, yes.
Yeah.
Metalingus by Alter Bridge.
yes. Finish the sentence.
Mhm.
Kayfabe is...
Life of pro wrestling.
We would have also accepted tastes great on toast.
Sorry.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Tastes great on post. Or what's that?
Toast. Toast, you know, bread.
Uh-huh.
It's a inside joke.
Sorry, I don't get it. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. Squash. Vegetable or is it a fruit?
Vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit. It has
Huh?
seeds. Tomato logic.
Whoa. Okay. Didn't know. Thank you for this fact. I didn't know because I don't eat much vegetables. My palate is a child.
Well, you are a part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more.
Okay.
New Japan wrestler Tai Chi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I think it should not show the cheeks a lot. It depends. If you got good bums, do it shorter. If you don't have any bums, make it longer.
Okay. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No. Nobody knows about Darby Allin in the grocery stores here.
And that's the correct answer.
Yeah. Who would? Hulk Hogan, perhaps. They might.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Oh, thank you so much, James. I'm really so happy for this interview. Thank you so much.
The pleasure was all mine. And once again, where can we find all things Kuya on social media?
All right. Yes, follow me on Instagram at Kuya Burn. That's KUYABURN.
And merchandise DM you, correct?
Oh yes, it's actually pinned in my Instagram site, and if you're interested, DM me
All right.
in Instagram. Cool.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
All right.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Dread, and Instagram, for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Yep.
For our special guest, Kuya Burn, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.